Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Tonight we have a one-shot. It's one we've played before a number of times, but it's a fun one. The name is Intruders. It was written by Noah Lloyd and Matt Ryan, and it's available on the Reckoning of the Dead website. I'm your game master, and this is version 4. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. There is a small island in the South Pacific called Smith's Island, named for an Australian sea captain, Jacob Smith, who discovered it in 1806. The island is volcanic and covered in tropical jungle, and it's thought that up until recently, no humans lived on the island prior to its discovery. There are no dangerous animals. In fact, the largest animal on the island is the tiny Smith's parakeet. After Captain Smith came to the island, a small colony sprang up but never really grew. The year is now 1985, and there are still only about 35 families, mostly Australians, Kiwis, and British expatriates, that permanently reside in the town of Smith's Landing. There are only a handful of businesses: Pete's General Store, where you can get supplies that have been brought over from the mainland. There's a pub called the Ruddy Hog that serves food and beverages and is the most common place to find the locals hanging out, and 2 small bungalow resorts for tourists that can accommodate only about 25 families each. It's a tiny island. 3 weeks ago, the island's small but active volcano erupted. Thanks to seismographs stationed around the island, no one was hurt. Lava was expelled and fortunately flowed in the opposite direction from the town. The only damage done in Smith's Landing was a few broken windows from the resulting sonic boom and earthquake. Almost all of the tourists left at that time. The residents returned, and shortly thereafter, a group of hikers observed a large structure on the far side of the island uncovered by a landslide. They estimated that it was about 300 meters up the far side of the volcano. They told this to the local authorities, who then contacted your respective universities. You arrived via seaplane from Tonga a few hours ago. You've settled in your rooms at the Paradise Resort and have gathered at the Ruddy Hog to make your plans. What's your next move?
And so I turned to him and I said, "You call that an eruption?"
Dead silence fills the bar.
The joke was that bad.
Tough crowd, huh?
Yeah, I just sort of I cover my face and just cringe and just.
I assume you'll all be who I'm working with, gentlemen.
Yeah, man.
Pleased to meet you. My name's Samuel Sherlow, but you can call me Shift. Reason being is a lot of people think I'm quite fidgety. I don't think so personally. As you can tell from the accent, I'm from Southern Ireland. I was hired by the University of Sligo. Heard about the eruption and the structure it revealed, and this could be the find of a lifetime. Super excited to work with you all, and pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Hi, I'm Dylan Roberts. I am professor of archaeology, University of California, San Francisco. And I'm of course been sent down here to investigate the structures that have been recently revealed on the volcano, and looking forward to working with you all.
Well, I'm Brock Stone. I'm a volcanologist trained out of the University of British Columbia. Perhaps you've heard of me. I'm rather well known from my YouTube series, Brock Stone in the Lava Zone.
You've caught those once or twice.
Oh, it's my radio series. Sorry.
There you go.
That hasn't happened yet.
Nice to meet you, dudes. My name is Daniel Grove. You can call me Mr. Grove. I'm the geologist from Arkham, originally from New York, but come on, you gotta love the nature, man.
I'm Dr. Samuel Caldwell, a professor of anthropology. I come from Boston, Harvard specifically. Been teaching there for a while, and frankly, I'd like to go back, but I have to be here instead.
I should mention, too, that the island is lovely. It's very tropical. It's not too hot this time of year. It's not windy, and it doesn't tend to rain too much. So it's like literally the perfect time of year to be here. As you're all sitting there and having a couple of drinks, you see a gentleman walk through the door. He's dressed in a white linen suit. He's rather plump, Caucasian fellow with a beard and a mustache. He walks over to the bar and says something, and you see the bartender point to you, and he walks over towards where you are. Well, gentlemen, you've arrived. They just told me. Sorry I didn't come earlier. My name is Mason Keith. I'm the mayor of Smith's Landing. It was I who alerted the landlubbers that something had happened here.
Pleasure to meet you, Mayor Keith. Thanks for having us.
Did you have a safe trip? I mean, everything was okay, and we've got you staying at the Paradise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, expenses paid, Polynesian punch. Can't complain about that.
Well, I'm sorry. The staff should be treating you like kings, considering that almost all of the tourists have left.
Sir, this island's just beautiful enough for us already. You don't need to give us any more special attention.
Well, I mean, it's really your respective universities that are the ones who are interested in it. Anything to drum up a little tourism here. Nothing like this has ever happened here. It's actually really quite a boring island, unless you're into sitting on the beach and reading and drinking a cocktail of some sort. Or going hiking. People like to hike.
You have just named everything I love to do and more.
And everything I hate doing.
This is the place to relax if you want to relax and get away from it all. We're quite a ways from everything.
So tell me about this volcano.
Smith's Peak. Yes, you notice that everything here is named Smith. You'd wonder that the sea captain had a bit of an ego. Smith's Landing, Smith's Peak, Smith's Island, Smith's Parakeet. Island, well, I mean, you can see the volcano. There it is. It's still smoking a bit, but the readings that the people in Australia have told us is that it doesn't look like it's going to erupt again. It was just, I don't remember what they called it. Probably you know better than I do. You're the volcanologist. It was just some sort of pocket of, I think he called it magma.
Yes,
a bubble, a hiccup.
A magma bubble, straight magma bubble. Yes,
indeed. Well, fortunately, we had all of the warning signs, so the tourists all left the day before it happened. All of the locals, they also left for the mainland, but then they've come back since then, since they told us it was safe. All of the lava went down the other side of the volcano into the sea.
On the topic of tourists, do you know if anyone has gone into these so-called ruins before us?
No. There's a couple of the tourists. The tourists, I think they might still be here. Mr. Carl Weiss and Wolfgang Feiertag. They wanted to go out and see the lava flows, as they said, and as they were on the other side of the island towards the shore, they looked up and said that they could see something that looked like a structure, like almost like buildings, up on the side of the volcano that probably unearthed by a landslide.
And that's the closest anyone's gotten to them?
That's the closest anyone's gotten, yes.
Mhm.
They said about 900 meters up the, or what did I say? 300 meters up the 900 feet.
Well, fellas, would you be interested in taking a look one of these days while we're here?
Oh, and that's one of the reasons I'm here. So
Of
has
course.
there been a preliminary survey done of the uncovered structures yet?
No, you're the first people here.
Wonderful. That's good to hear.
By chance, are we near any fault lines or anything?
I think that this is part of what they call the Ring of Fire. Is it? Not
The
sure.
Ring of Fire.
Most of the islands out here in the South Pacific are
yes.
volcanic.
Yeah, I
Yes,
believe that's the
yes.
name.
Yes, the Ring of Fire. Yes, there's quite a number of them around here. It fits in, and I'll pull out a map and show you, sort of, where it lines up and sort of makes this sort of rough ring. It's
Well-
kind of like a ring. It's you got to use your imagination a little bit, but
But it has nothing to do with the Johnny Cash song.
I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
No, I believe that song was about hemorrhoids.
Right, but it's a wonderful song, though.
Who knows? Maybe he might be from the future, man. Maybe he's just trying to warn us. But anyways, I want to see that structure you're talking about. See if it's probably just some rock formation or something. A lot of tungsten type likes to go weird like that.
The hiking trail that goes all the way around the island takes about 3 hours to get back to Smith's Landing. And then if you're going to hike up the mountain, well, you'll need some sort of gear, or I don't know. It's not that pointy of an island until you start to get up towards the peak.
Question. Since my character's more of a mountaineer, would I at least have a walking stick with me, or like a...
Well, you guys all knew beforehand that you were going to be going up a mountain, so you probably brought stuff with you.
Yeah, I probably brought my own gear and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I can definitely walk with one of you guys, maybe two.
Well, I'll leave you to it. If you need anything, if you need to talk to anyone, as I say, I believe the hikers did not leave. In fact, I think they only just arrived. I'm not well versed in the history of the island. I actually only moved here a few years ago. Our the oldest person on the island is Terry Timms. I think he's in his mid to late 70s, and he's lived here most of his life, I think. But other than that, if you need anything, don't hesitate to call. Everybody knows where I am. Most of the time I'm on the beach.
So you're the mayor of this town. You only been here for a few years.
Well, yes, yeah. You'll find that most of our residents are either New Zealand or Australian individuals or rich white people.
Well,
The island's not easy. The island is not a very good ecosystem. I mean, you see that it's a beautiful tropical island, but the Smith's parakeet is about all we have. There's no part of the island that grows any food. Everything has to be brought in, like once a week on seaplanes. So the island's never sustained anything. There's no goats or pigs or anything like that living here.
So people live here just to waste money, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, to, like I say, sit on the beach and drink drinks. The natives, I believe the Maori from New Zealand, have a name for it, Kohatu Toka, the cursed island. They call it cursed only because it's a waste of time. There's no food here. There's no
Right.
and it's also why we've believed that no one has ever lived here until the settlement. So if there's some sort of structure up there on the mountain that's ancient, like the Easter Island stuff, that would be astonishing. Nothing like that should be here.
Are we even near the Easter Island, or just
I think Easter Island's the farthest island from anything.
Yeah, it's off the coast of Chile or something, I think.
Yeah, it's like 1,500 miles from anything else.
Yeah.
so it wouldn't be that.
I'm not sure. I can't answer that off the top of my head. I think that might be South Pacific, which would be, but way,
We couldn't be
way to
farther
the
from
east.
it, actually.
Right.
I thought it was like near Iceland or something.
No, it's definitely way down south, right in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
Glad I'm not a cardiologist.
Most of the islands were settled by people traveling from boats from island to island, but some of the islands are larger. Tonga, obviously, is much larger. Lots of animal life there, so people could sustain themselves, but not this island. If for some reason we couldn't get supplies in, we'd all have to leave.
Yeah, there's no real way to sustain yourself here.
Correct.
Unless you start eating parakeets.
Yeah. Problem is, there's not much meat when you get all the bones out, though.
So tourism is our main thing.
Import and export.
Paradise Island, man.
Paradise with no food or water.
And of course, now he probably wouldn't say it out loud, but this would be a good place to hide ex-Nazis
Yeah.
with money.
Or like an old mobster who's decided to
exactly
lay things down. Okay.
I hope we don't verse some red demon with a big giant fist.
All right. So he says, if you need anything, please, have somebody find me. And he says, our island is your island. And he walks away. And he gets a drink before he leaves. What would you like to do?
All right,
It's probably about noon at this point.
All right.
In fact, you just ate lunch.
Nice and full.
Suspecting there's not much in the way of research on the island. I mean, outside from talking to people, I imagine.
Not much.
What are you thinking then? Just want to just go have a look, or?
Well, the mayor did mention those two tourists who had found the relics or the ruins.
And the relics, and the gentleman, the Mr. Terry Timms, the oldest resident on the island.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And the ruins themselves, but we don't want to go there just yet.
I don't think so, no. As much as I'd like to get this horrible expedition over with, I fear we have a bit of research to do.
Well,
Sounds like you need to drink a bit more, Samuel.
Oh, also, I'd like to point out my character has not consumed any alcohol.
Okay.
Only water.
My character
There's your
can't
problem.
stop consuming it.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Dude. Like, I'm the dude, man.
All right. So what would you like to do?
Speak to the locals, I guess. Go and see Carl Wise and
Would it
Wolfgang Feiertag, yes.
be, using a game term, would it be prudent to split the party or no?
I mean, cover more ground, I guess.
I'll give you my opinion on splitting the party. If your characters would naturally split the party, you split the party.
Yeah.
All right, then my character would probably just go and maybe see how the soil is here. Maybe it's some sort of maybe just breaking of the island. Maybe it's about to sink any second now.
Go all Atlantis on us.
Do a geology roll.
Geology?
Yeah.
I roll it with my own dice, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
All right, let me just look it up.
Should be under science geology.
I got a 32 out of 70, so I got a hard.
At a hard. The sand here is mostly seashells, ground up seashells. And the ground underneath it is going to be mostly basalt, which is what you'd expect from volcanic eruptions. The soil is really, really rich, which is why the tropical plant life just grows like crazy. But it's exactly what you'd expect from a South Seas island. Nothing unusual about it at all.
All right, I heard the rest of that. That's good. Sorry, I lagged a little bit.
Oh.
But if the soil is very rich, there's not much food here.
Well, it's because of the volcanic soil is usually really rich for plants to grow in.
But there's probably just not enough space to farm anything.
Right,
it's the size of the island. Yeah.
All right,
it's
all just coconuts and pineapples. Got it.
Right. Somebody would have to build a plantation and strip half the island to make it make enough coconuts to.
And then you'd have enough room for the workers and the owner to live, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you'd have to have somebody buy the stuff when you've got larger islands and larger plantations.
And not to mention, you've got that erupting volcano on your island, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a better investment just to have a paradise here, man.
Do we know if the volcano has ever erupted in the past?
That would be a good volcanologist. He'd have to look at it, but most likely the island itself was formed by the exploding volcano. So, and there's probably a strong tendency in the area of the way these volcanoes form that, they're flowing volcanoes that just continually, like the Hawaiian Islands.
Can I do a little research and do a volcanology roll?
Sure.
Let's see. That's a 1, I think. Yes, that's a 1.
Wow.
Okay. So I got a 1.
Your opinion of the island would be it's completely typical for this kind of area, that it's just basically flowing liquid hot magma. It's not the kind of volcano that builds up pressure for 100 years and then explodes like a bomb going off.
And then kills half a continent or something.
Right. It sends a tidal wave all the way around the planet. That's Krakatoa.
Krakatoa! Yes, of course.
Krakatoa, when it went off, that was in the 18 something, people on another island were literally deafened by the sound when the thing went off. It blew their eardrums out. So here it kind of did that too, but it didn't blow anybody's eardrums out. It did shatter some windows, but that's about it. All right.
Well, I'd like to go speak to what's his name, the older fellow.
Okay.
Harry Timms. Yeah.
Harry Timms, correct.
I'll accompany you with that.
Yeah.
And the others, you're going to go talk to the Germans, the hikers?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see if we can maybe get some far away shots if we're speaking at the same spot.
Okay. For the photographer, the island's gorgeous. I mean, your photography alone will make this look like a travel log, of you want to come stay in paradise, here's the place. It's just a shame they can't accommodate more than like 50 families total of extra people. All right. So let's say that if the photographer is going to go walk around and take pictures, that's what you're going to end up with. The people going to talk to the Germans, they're actually staying at the same resort you are. And since the place is almost deserted except for employees, it's fairly easy to find them. you find them sitting down near the beach, drinking some fancy frou-frou drinks with umbrellas in them and coconut shells, and sitting next to each other in, lounge chairs on the beach, chit-chatting in German. Look, here comes somebody. What does they want with us?
Do you speak English?
Hello.
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, we speak English.
Yes. We were hoping to ask you a couple questions about what's been going on recently around here and what you saw.
Oh, you're from the newspaper?
Not exactly, but we're from a number of universities. We're doing some research into what's been going on here.
Oh, you want to talk about the things that we saw? Well, Carl and I were walking along the path, and we went to the lava flows. And they're not large lava flows, but they're not very broad, but very sharp, like glass, sharp glass. Very, very beautiful, going all the way up the mountain. But as we were looking at it and we were talking about it, there was a place on the mountain. It looked almost like the mountain was cracked open, and there were odd shapes like cubes.
Cubes.
Yeah, sticking out the side of the mountain. Same color as the mountain. So we kept walking around to see if we could see them from a different angle, but they were too far up the mountain. We didn't bring binoculars. So we thought maybe it was something up there. When we came back, we asked, and they didn't know anything about it. So they thought they should call somebody. We didn't climb up. We were a little afraid to. We didn't know how long it takes for the lava to completely harden. So we didn't want to walk up there because this was right after. We could still feel the heat. Do a volcanology roll.
That one was an 18, so it's a hard.
Whether you say it or not to them, what you know is this. This is going to be kind of like fluffy lava. It's pumice mostly. As a result, you could walk on it and it wouldn't do much damage to your shoes, but you wouldn't want to put your hand on it and run your hand across it.
Right.
Because it would be like putting it on a grater.
Ugh, yeah.
But basalt lava hardens in about 15 minutes, but then it stays warm for about a month.
Right.
So you can actually walk on it after about 15 minutes, but it stays warm deep down inside for about a month.
We'll say, well, it's actually it's definitely safe to walk on now. So a couple of us are going to go take a gander. But I appreciate you. Is there anything else that we should be on the lookout for that you saw or can let me know about?
No, you're going to have a time climbing up there because the jungle's pretty thick on that side.
All right.
And you can't really get that from. There's not really any beach on that side. The lava literally went right down over the cliff and into the ocean on that side. So quite spectacular. We took pictures, but they're not the instant. They're the kind we have to get the film. So we'll if you give us your card or something, we'll send them to you after.
Sure, yeah, and I'll hand him a card. I hand them a card.
Yeah, we'll send you copies of our pictures. I'd like to go back with you, but we're actually leaving tomorrow morning, so we don't have time.
Understand.
Our vacation's over. We didn't run since we sort of ran. We went out on the boat when the volcano exploded, but we didn't leave. Once we knew the lava went the other direction, we were okay.
Right. Well, glad to hear that you're all right. Thank you again. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your travels.
Well, thank you very much. All right. The others of you who are going to meet Terry Timms, you have to kind of ask around for a bit. But eventually somebody says, go down to the beach, make a right, walk for about a half a mile, and you'll find his place. You can't miss it. Look for the seashells. So you walk down to the beach, you make a right, you walk for a while, and you get to this small little house, hut sort of structure. It's definitely European built. It was probably a small bungalow house. It has a little yard around it, and the entire house, the walkways, the fence posts, the tree trunks, things, this person has meticulously collected shells and made little designs and glued things on, and the tops of all of his fence posts have little seashells sticking up, and he's probably a beach collecting artist who has collected seashells. And you notice other things too, sea glass and bits and pieces of bottles and stuff that have been glued into patterns. And that's what his yard looks like as you walk up. But there's nobody in the front yard at the moment. So what do you guys do?
Besides the seashells, is there anything special or interesting about his house, or is it just very normal?
It's normal, except that it's covered with seashells.
Covered in seashells.
They told you he's the oldest living resident here, and that he's been here most of his life. So it looks like he hasn't had much else to do but glue seashells onto things.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we walk up and knock on the door.
Okay. You knock on the door, and it takes a couple of knocks, but eventually you hear some squeaky floorboards, and a door opens, and you are greeted by a man in kind of khaki shorts. He's got no shirt on. He's barefoot. He's got a long beard and long hair. His skin is looks a little like goose flesh from baking in the sun most of his life. So he's kind of nut brown, although he's obviously a Caucasian. And he's rather short, maybe 4'7" at the most. And he looks up at you and he says, "Who the hell are you?"
You can call me Dr. Caldwell. Me and my associate here.
Say no more. I've had a pain in my shoulder, in my backside here for quite some time, and I've been asking for a doctor. And that old doctor in the town, he ain't very good. You must be replacing him. So why don't y'all come in? And are y'all his assistants?
Well, you see, I'm not a medical doctor per se. I'm a doctor of anthropology. You know, the study of.
Oh yeah, I know what anthropology is. I'm not quite that ancient. He says, "Why don't you come on in? What do you all want?" He says, "Coffee, tea."
A cup of strong coffee would be wonderful right now.
Have a seat. Everything is covered in seashells. This man is obsessed with seashells. So he goes in and he goes into his kitchen and he says, "So what are you young folks doing here that you want to talk to an old man?"
Well, the ruins that were recently uncovered by the volcanic eruption.
Ruins?
Yeah, Is it the other side of the island, I think?
Oh, I think I heard the mayor talking about something like that. There's nothing up there. I've never known anything. I know this island like the back of my hand. I've been here since 1935. Is that right? Yeah, I've been here since 1935 when my family moved here. I've been over every square inch of this island, and there's no ruins up there.
So obviously, I know there's ruins up there, but can I make a psychology roll to see if he's lying?
Sure.
Okay. Is it all right if I use like a dice roller? Because I have dice, but they're like
Absolutely.
put away at the moment. Okay, cool.
We kind of wish we had a die. I've talked to Zoom about it, and I said, why don't you give us a dice roller so that we can see it on the screen? And nothing so far.
Okay, I got a 26. And if I take a look at my character sheet, I'm pretty sure that's a success.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, you're sure that he's telling the truth. He's just...
That's a hard success.
You probably guessed that he hasn't walked up the mountain recently.
Mm-hmm. He hasn't been there in a while.
Right. And if this just happened 3 weeks ago, then there's no reason why he would even know about it.
Mm-hmm. And sir, you were here for the eruption, correct?
Oh, yes, I was. In fact, I didn't leave. I stayed right here.
Okay, wow.
I mean, I did go out and I watched it.
Right.
I wasn't gonna, if I saw lava coming at my place, I was gonna move, but maybe 3 or 4 feet to the side. I wasn't not gonna leave my island. I've been here for 50 years. And it wasn't, I mean, it was scary, but you know, the ground shook. I had to re-glue some of my seashells back up afterwards.
It was like a really hot earthquake, basically.
Right, it rumbled. Mm-hmm. But it had been rumbling for a couple of weeks beforehand. So they told us that it might be getting ready to blow. It smoked a little.
So besides this recent eruption, have you ever experienced anything weird or strange on the island, maybe? Ever found anything in your travels around in the time you've been here?
Well, yeah. I once found on the beach, right down over there, a woman's leg.
A leg.
A woman's leg. You want to see it? And he gets up and he walks away, and he comes back with what's obviously an old beat up mannequin leg.
I choke on my coffee as I'm drinking it. Just
and of course it's partly decorated with seashells. And he says, yep, this washed up. Now where the hell did that come from?
Well, it probably came from a shipping container that fell off of a cargo ship.
Wonder why I didn't get any more of her. I would have liked to have gotten more of her.
So, Mr. Timms, when you moved here back in the 30s, were there any natives on the island prior to the Europeans?
Only a couple, but they weren't natives to the island. No, it was I moved here in 35, and I think that the first settlement here was in 1923, and then the island was only discovered or named by Captain Smith in 1806. Oh, wait a second. What did I say? 1823 was the first. I meant 1823 was the first settlement. So even when he found it, it took quite a while. And he says there's nothing here. It's a lovely tropical place to rest for a bit, but aside from aside from a trickle of fresh water, there ain't nothing to eat, and there ain't nothing to, sustain you.
I don't suppose they have, Captain Smith's journals or logs.
Oh no, he didn't stay here. He went.
Oh.
I think he went straight back to Australia or wherever. He just all he lent us was the name.
How nice of him. Well, I think I've got one more question for you.
Sure. Well, and here's some cookies.
Oh, thank you.
Wait, what kind of cookies are they?
Probably macaroons. With
Okay,
coconut.
I don't take any. I'm very discerning. But one more question. Why seashells?
Well, my family had money, and they came here, brought me along. I was 27. We helped build part of the town. Part of that trail going around the island. That was my doing. I walked along the trail. I like to wander. I'm not really the kind of person who can settle down and work. So there's not much you can do here. I walk on the beaches, and if I see some pretty seashells, one day I started collecting them, and then I had piles of seashells. And he points over to a wall in his house that's all completely made out of like beer bottles, which actually is kind of pretty because he's embedded them in the wall sideways and cemented between them. So it's like a stained glass window of greens and browns and blues, And he says to just collect junk, and you got to do something with it.
That's fair. So you're very familiar with all the trails since you made them essentially.
Oh yeah, I'm a dreamer. There's not much you can do. There's not much you can do to get off the trails, and even if you get off the trails, there's not really anywhere you can go to get lost.
Right. So they're fairly straightforward.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
if you go straight up the mountain, which you can. It's a bit of a workout, especially as you get up there. Just come down the mountain. You're going to land on the trail at some point.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you very much.
And I hope you get the rest of your woman.
Yes.
Oh, she ain't no good now.
Yeah, I put down the coffee and stand up and shake his hand, and then.
Yeah. All right, and he dismisses you, or lets you go. And you all eventually meet back up in town. By now, it's probably getting towards late afternoon. What do you guys want to do? Now it's summer, so it's gonna stay light until like 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So we got plenty of time.
Yeah.
So it's like 2-3 o'clock right now?
Yeah, probably. That wouldn't have taken you very long.
Okay.
Well, fellas, what did you just figure out?
Well, he what's his name again?
Terry?
Terry Timms? Yeah.
Mr. Timms didn't really have much info for us, only to tell us that it's unlikely we'll get lost when we go up there.
Yeah. But he was unaware of anything up there. I mean, at this point, he said there's no logs, no journals. I mean, we could, I guess, possibly telegraph to Australia, but I don't know how long it'll take for them to get the information back to us at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could maybe look up the Smith captain, but probably take too long.
Yeah.
Probably all you would get is the date that he discovered the island.
Yeah. Stuff
It doesn't even sound like he stopped them.
Yeah. So.
Oh, there's an island.
Yeah, here's an island, and I'm naming it after me. Thank you. Moving on.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably just a vanity thing more than anything.
What did you fellows learn from the tourists?
Unfortunately, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I was muted there. Unfortunately, not much. That they went by to look at the lava flow. They didn't see much. They saw it was sharp. They were worried that they didn't want to walk on it. So
Okay, yeah, figures.
Yeah, I just got a couple of nice photos, but that's about it. Again, expenses paid, drinks.
Yeah.
Everything seemed fine to me when I was going around and checking all the rocks, man.
We're not going to sink into the ocean anytime soon.
Not any minute, I guess. Maybe in a few 100,000 years.
Does anyone own a machete?
There's a general store.
Yeah, it was probably the one to be had here on the island, I imagine.
I mean, I doubt there's much growth on the trails, but it might be prudent to bring a couple along anyway.
Mm-hmm. Better to have it and not need it.
Yeah, exactly.
So look at the map here.
Well, what are you feeling? Do you just want to maybe give it a cursory glance, or what are you feeling?
Well, according to this map, it makes a grand circle around the base of the volcano. To get any further, we might need the machetes, though.
I would love to inspect some of those lava. The lava came down. Just see how the rocks are forming. Maybe it's some sort of
that would be possible.
Pumice, yeah.
And you said we've got a few hours still?
Yeah, quite a few hours actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably got like 6 hours, 7 hours ish.
I would also recommend us packing more supplies, like maybe some medicine just in case, and some extra food just in case we're out there for a little longer.
Bandages in case anyone slips and cuts themselves.
I brought a first aid kit.
Okay, perfect.
And an extra blank paper for my sketchbook.
All right. So you're going to take a hike? Do you want to go up over the top of the island, or do you want to go down to the bottom of the island? He made it sound like it's a 3-hour circle.
Yeah, but it looks like probably the quicker way to get to the lava tubes would be going over the top of the aisle and down rather than down and up.
Okay. I rolled. My vote is down.
Yeah, I'm all for doing whatever, but I think going down would be a good idea too.
I think the down definitely would, because as I'm seeing it, it goes a little longer compared to the below.
Okay. All right. So you're going to get your gear together. You can, in fact, find machetes at the general store. And then you start on your hike. Now, taking the southern route, it's going to take you about maybe an hour and 20 minutes to get to that lowest lava flow going up the mountain. You can see it cut through the forest, but where the places are in between the lava flows, it's still jungle. So it's a little difficult. You can't see any structures up the mountain yet from that point. And of course, you don't really see that on your map.
Mm-hmm.
That's just for you. Do you want to go up this lava flow, or do you want to go up another lava flow?
So the lava flows actually do show up on our map, or no?
No, they don't show up on the map.
Okay.
But they show you. You're probably putting them on your map to see them.
Right.
Okay. Well, I would defer to our volcanologist, which would be the best lava tube to follow.
Hey, can I make a roll to see which one is more stable?
Well, they're all pretty stable.
Okay.
They all look basically like black, solid basalt, and very sort of what you've seen lava flows. They're kind of flowy, So they're rounder on the edges and they're flatter in the middle.
Yeah, I remember seeing them, on Bill Nye. They, and they would walk on it. It's kind of a funny sight to see. But yeah, so
it makes an odd crunching noise when you're
right.
walking. because there's
So-
little needles of glass pointing.
Mhm. I guess I'm gonna, Brock Stone just confidently pulls out a coin and flips it.
Wait a minute. A coin only has 2 heads, and there's 3 lava flows
Oh, okay. Hold on. Wait.
Well, what if the coin lands on its this side?
on
on.
its side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here, I'll flip the coin twice. That makes sense, right?
I think it would be more of a 2 out of 3 thing.
Well, technically, you don't know there's 3 lava flows, so
Oh, that's true.
Oh, there you go. So,
you're just deciding whether you're going to go up this lava flow.
Okay.
all right. Well, I got a head, so we should go up this lava flow.
Okay.
Of course.
I say
Perfect sense.
confidently. Yeah, I say that confidently, and I'm like, now, don't dilly dally too much, but it should be safe. Just I wouldn't stick your foot or hands into it. Just go ahead and walk.
All right.
Don't stand in one place too long.
Is there any question? Is there any like leftover chunks of the lava flow that have already hardened?
Well, it's like I say, it really only takes about 15 minutes for, once this was 3 weeks ago, for it to harden enough where you can walk on it. But it'll stay warm for about a month. So if you put your hand on it, and you can put your hand on it carefully and you won't get cut, you just can't rake your hand on it. You can actually feel there's warmth, but the crust is probably that thick by now. So your weight's not going to break through.
Alrighty. Can I take like a small, I guess, geologist pick and just take a little sample?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. I'll do that.
It actually breaks off rather easily because it's a pumice. It's actually pretty easy to dig through.
Very tiny hammer.
Right.
This big.
He's probably got a geologist's hammer.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess my question is, do you want to walk on the lava flow or do you want to walk on the side of the lava flow? You'll notice that there's a strip on either side of the lava flow where the jungle was burned. So it's ashy and there's charcoal and there's no smoke anymore, but you can see that probably already after 3 weeks, you can see seedlings and stuff starting to pop up and try to
Well,
grow.
fire burnt land is actually especially fertile, so that makes perfect sense.
Right.
How tall is the lava flow? How much does it
The lava flow sticks up maybe 2 feet above where the ground would have been, but it's less on the edges.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe only about a foot on the edge, and it gets thicker in the middle.
Right.
And
So it's not very difficult to climb up and down off the
no,
lava.
no.
Okay.
There's places in it that it might be a little slippery, but mostly it's not going to be. You can sort of avoid anything that looks like glass,
Right.
like smooth
Anything
glass.
too shiny.
And but even when you're standing in the middle of it, the jungle is still quite a bit above you. So you're not getting, you can see the mountain ahead of you, but you can't see any other lava flows or anything like that. All right, so you go for about 15 minutes up the lava flow, and the lava flow definitely starts to turn around an embankment, and you're heading partly north. And just as you turn that corner north and you're looking up the lava flow, you see what they were talking about. It's weird looking with the angle of the sun, the way that it is. It almost looks like buildings sticking up out of the side of the mountain, as if they had been buried at some point. Color-wise, they look exactly the same as the mountain, the lava. They're kind of blackish brown. Do a spot hidden, everybody, as we're looking at it.
I didn't get it.
Regular pass.
I got an extreme success.
Hey.
90, it's a fail.
I got a hard success.
Okay. A geologist, you failed. You're guessing that it's just a natural part of the rock that just happens to look sort of vaguely building-like because of the way the light's hitting it. But you don't see anything unusual about its shape. Sam, you got an extreme, and the other people who did pass, you definitely get the feeling that there are tiers to it. Like there's a lower tier and an upper tier, and what almost looks like a tower on top of it, sticking up a little bit. And because you got an extreme, you almost think that you can see windows or window openings in part of it. It could just be, once again, tricks of the light where it's dimpled in, but it definitely looks building-like to you. You can also estimate that it's going to be another hour before you get all the way up to where it is.
Mm-hmm. I'll probably spot it while taking pictures of all the scenery.
Okay.
And
do you have a telephoto lens?
I guess like luck roll it. I would say I'd have a Polaroid camera, of course, because I'm a photographer.
It's a question of whether you're lugging all of that heavy equipment with you. You know?
Yeah.
Because all those lenses and equipment would be a big. You could have left that, gone for a hike, and then you can always go back.
Yeah, I think we did agree just to have a cursory look, so they'll say I didn't bring it.
All right.
Yeah, fellas, do you see that? It almost looks like I'll sort of stand shoulder to shoulder with them, and I'll point out. It almost looks like there are like layers, strangely, like layers of the building.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of things that can happen to rocks, mostly in lava flows.
I agree with Sam. There's something distinctly man-like about the formations, like they were planned out.
What do you think? Should we maybe get a bit closer, or what do you want to do?
Well, I'm all for getting a better look.
Mm-hmm.
Still early days yet.
Looks like a nice thing just to look at, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Okay. So you go up for another 15 or 20 minutes, and you realize that you've come to a place where, once again, the lava flow sort of splits. Part of it goes back down the mountain. Part of it goes up to the caldera of the volcano. Neither one of them is going towards this formation. There's actually now jungle between you and the formation. You might be able to find a way around, or you might try to cut through the jungle, but that's probably what's going to take you the most amount of time.
So this is our point of no return, essentially.
All right.
You can always return.
But I mean, like, if we start cutting through now, we'll probably want to go inside and have a look around. So if there's anything we want to go back and get, we should probably do it now and then come back.
You can also do con rolls to see how tired you are.
That's true. Do you want us to do that right now?
Yeah, why don't you do that? Because now you're on the slope is starting to get
45.
harder.
That's a hard, or that's a regular pass.
That's a hard success on con.
Okay.
Ooh, I failed. I rolled a 59.
43, I succeed.
If you
Regular.
succeed, you're not tired. If you fail, then you're tired.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm kind of I don't travel much, so a hike like this would tire me out.
Dude, you got to get some exercise, man. It's not healthy for you.
Listen, the sun, it doesn't agree with me. Okay, I'm sorry. This isn't my wheelhouse.
No problem, man. It's all point of opinion, man.
When I go to a dig, I prefer to have the tents set up already. There's food and water laid out. All I got to do is my work. Whatever.
Well, I say we got a good bit done today. We might as well, I don't know, call it an early night if Samuel's feeling
I mean,
lethargic.
I'm tired, but I'm not exhausted.
You need to drink more, then you can't feel it.
Yeah, that's right. Instead of drinking water, I should have drank alcohol and then walked out here. That would have been much better.
You would care.
It worked
less.
for me, man.
Yeah,
We
I
all
would care
did.
less.
You're the only one that's tired.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
I'm still drinking.
Well, put yourselves in the situation. What kind of person are you? Are you just going to keep moving forward, or are you going to, ask to go back, or what?
Well, I would probably think to myself that the sooner we get this done, the sooner we can go home, because I don't want to be on the island at all. So I would probably just be like, let's just keep doing it,
I brought the sketchbook. That's all I need. So it's and the tools.
All right. So you're going to continue forward. All right.
Well, I was going to say, if you are okay with it, I've left a lot of my camera equipment back in the town. So maybe if you meet me halfway, you can sit here and have a rest, and I'll go and grab my stuff.
I was actually going to suggest that we start cutting, and while you go back and get your stuff, and then by the time you get back,
how much daylight will we have once you return?
It would be evening, because it's going to take him an hour and a half to get back, and then an hour and a half to get back to you.
So it'd be like
he will have hiked
6 o'clock,
3 hours.
Yeah.
It'll probably be faster if I help him out. I'm used to hiking and all those things.
Let me just say too that there's no reason why this has to get done in a day.
Yeah,
that's true.
And also,
I think Samuel's the one who wants it over and done with.
Well, the thing is, even for the anthropologist, if this was a civilization that nobody knew about, you're an anthropologist. This will put your name down in history.
No, I'm excited. But I have to battle with the fact that,
You're also tired. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got these two sides in me.
All right. So what do you guys want to do then?
Well, then let's plan on doing this tomorrow, so we can get so he can get his photography equipment, and we can get all the equipment we need.
We can get out here nice and early in the morning and get a proper job done of it.
Okay. Sounds good.
So you pretty much know your trail pretty well. I'm gonna have, was Samuel the only one who was tired?
I believe so, yes.
All right. On the way back down, Sam, I want you to do a dex roll.
Oh boy. Well, that's a 100.
Oh.
So yeah.
All right. So on the way back down, going down can be way more treacherous than going up, because you really don't have anything to brace your hands on as you're going down. So we're going to say that at some point, Sam is going to slip on the pumice, on the lava flow, and go down and probably roll off of it into the jungle. Do a 1d4 for hit point damage. It won't be anything serious that you don't need band-aids or
right. A 1.
Okay. So you badly scrape your arm on the stuff as you fall out. And mostly you just curse, unless you don't curse. You don't drink. You don't.
I'd say I don't curse in conversation, but I probably would have cursed at this.
Oh darn!
Oh darn!
All right.
Goose eggs.
So aside from that, you guys get back an hour and a half later, and there is food and drink waiting for you. And the question then now is, because we don't really need to go into there is a doctor in town that takes care of the rich people.
As the old man was very nice to let us know.
He patches you up. So we'll jump ahead to the next morning when you guys leave. But did you guys want to acquire any other supplies? I usually allow in these sort of games that you have whatever equipment that you would naturally have brought.
Yeah, I actually I wrote it down on my sheet. I have like a carry case with like an anthropometer. I can't even pronounce it. It's just for like measuring human bones and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably will get my whole archaeology kit, my little my brushes and little tiny picks and all that and the stuff I would keep with me. So it's
And geologist probably has his Moe's kit and all that stuff.
If that actually is possibly evidence of an ancient civilization, there'll probably be internal parts that we can go into, and it will be dark. So maybe we should get some flashlights.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, man.
All right. So next morning, you go on your hike. We'll say you left. What time did you leave?
7 or 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds right.
You got up at 7. You had breakfast. You left at 7:30 and 8:30. So 9 o'clock. You are back to the point where you were before. And do you want to try to make your way through the jungle, or see if you can work your way around on the lava? You'll have to go up higher to get down to it, or you could try to cut straight through.
So cutting through would probably take more time, but going around might be a little more dangerous.
I could probably find a path for us up, and you guys will just follow.
Mm-hmm.
It's this kind of more of
your
a special
footsteps sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right. So the only thing I'll ask you to do then, Daniel, since you're taking the lead, is do a dex roll. Actually, I'm going to give you a dex roll with a bonus because you're a geologist. You know where you should step.
The bonus is the 100th dice, right?
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
Or you
It's
can
been
just roll
so
twice
long.
and take the better roll.
All right. That is a 9, so that is extreme.
Like
Or
a young
right.
gazelle, you leap from rock to rock and point out to them exactly where to step.
Oh no, it's a
And-
heart.
Okay. And it takes you very little extra time. And you find yourself slightly above the structure, coming down to it. Now, from this point of view, it's uncannily looking very much like some sort of structure, except that the stone itself that it's made from, it doesn't look like it's made from blocks. It looks like a gigantic solid block of basalt, with an odd, almost hexagonal structure on top of it, with little, you would have said windows, except that they're not regularly shaped. They're not really rectangular. They're kind of, the one wall will be this, or one door entrance will be that, and then it'll be angled. All very strange angles. Like it doesn't actually make any sense. You're not finding really parallel sides. All of the angles seem to be off or at different things. It almost looks like a gigantic quartz crystal, except that it's not clear and it's not like a solid glassy material. It looks like it's made out of basalt. Dark, grayish, brownish black. After a few moments, you were actually standing on top of part of the structure. And it looks, well, geologist, Daniel, do another geology roll as you're looking at the structure. Archaeologist, Dylan, you can do a archaeology roll.
Archaeology. Okay.
Volcanologist, you can do a roll.
I got a hard.
I got an extreme.
I got just a regular success.
The whole gambit.
You all three succeeded. There's something very odd. It's definitely composed of basalt. But the basalt that it's made out of is not the lava from this volcano. It's much, much older. This island itself is probably only a few 100,000 years old. But the rock of this structure looks like it might be 1 billion years old. It's like something from huge rock structures in other parts of the world that, were part of the tectonic plates. This basalt is much, much older than the surrounding basalt. And you can't explain that. That's bizarre. And you don't find any cuts or seams in it as if it was constructed like blocks. But the walls are flat. The roof is flat, though it's not level. The doorways are straight. I mean, they're angled and oddly angled, but there's flat surfaces, perfectly flat surfaces, which you don't really find in nature. You're completely baffled. You can all do sanity rolls for noticing this.
I'm good. I got a 45.
That's an extreme success.
A success.
That would be a fail for me.
Okay. If you succeeded, you're fine. If you fail, just take 1 sanity point, because it's mind-boggling. And Samuel, as the anthropologist, this does not look at all familiar. You've never seen any civilization that built things out of basalt in this manner.
Mm-hmm.
These blocks, there's not a civilization on Earth, probably even today, that could move blocks this large.
I assume this type of construction would be essentially impossible at any point in history.
At any point in history, even modern.
Yeah.
These things would weigh thousands of tons.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, I would like you to do a spot hidden.
Just me? Okay.
No, I'm sorry. You guys are both named Sam. Shift.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just noticed that.
All right, Sam
I'll
and
call him
Samuel.
Shift.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to spend 2 points of luck to make that a success, if that's okay.
Okay. There is something else odd about the structure and about the composition of the stone. When you're looking at it through your viewfinder, it's too bright. The light from the sun reflecting off of it is too bright. It's brighter than the rest of the surfaces around it, as if there's crystals or something in the structure itself that's really reflecting the light back at you. And you can't seem to get away from it, no matter what angle you're at.
Hey, Mr. Rockman, is that normal that surfaces can be brighter than light reflecting off them? How is that possible?
He's just kind of staring at the rocks with his aviator glasses off. Depends on the rock, really. It could be quartz or. Can I make a geology check? Or
Sure. Do you want to take samples, or
yeah, I'll take a few
look at it? Maybe you look at it under a microscope or something.
Yeah, just chip a little bit and then use my little rock thing.
Okay. Yeah, do that.
I believe that is an extreme, but let me double check.
Okay. As he's doing that, the rest of you can do spot hiddens.
It is just a hard.
Okay. You look at it under, like a jeweler's loop or something to take a good close look at the structure. It's definitely got crystals growing in it. They're kind of a light blue. You're not exactly sure, but the basalt has been there long enough that crystals are actually growing in the substance of it. The rest of you, is anybody pass their spot hidden?
Is that another spot hidden on
normal
top of
success.
the one I rolled, Tom?
The one that you just rolled, that I just now said.
No, I failed.
Oh, wow. That's another extreme success for me.
Okay. Well, Sam and Dylan and whoever else passed, where he has chipped the stone away, looks completely different now. It's brightly colored, and as you move your heads, the colors change, like an opal.
Interesting. Did you notice that?
Notice what? Oh, that's not normal, is it?
Yeah. No,
and actually, I'll take out one of my brushes and brush some of the dust away and see if it, you can get a better look at it.
yeah, it's definitely got crystals growing in it, crystal structures.
I mean, this could be billions. I mean, this would be the equivalent to pressurized diamond.
Let's
Means.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Now, there are a number of these entrances, I guess you could call them. As you're up close, the windows are very large. The one closest to you is maybe 15 feet high. It doesn't come quite down to the base of the structure, but it's maybe only a foot above the base of the structure. And it's sort of a rectangle, but it's not a rectangle. It's off. The side, none of the sides on it are parallel to it. And beyond it is pitch black. You can see that it goes into an internal structure, a cave or something.
I may have drinking too much. Are you guys seeing the same thing?
I'm stone cold sober. You're not. Trust me, we're all seeing the same thing.
All right, I need a few more drinks then.
Guess that's our base of entry, fellas.
I believe so. So, flashlights on.
All right, who wants a food up?
I think I should go first. If there's anything in there.
Sure.
I don't know if you know this, but I used to be a boxer.
Wait, you too? Well, I never did it professionally, but I box a little bit in my free time. I'll go with you. I'll go second fiddle.
Yeah.
Wait,
wow.
hold on.
You and I'll take on anything that shows up.
What do you mean by anything? What could possibly be down here?
Are you?
I don't know. It's like cave creatures or something.
Mole
Could
men?
be,
I don't.
A spider. I don't know.
What kind of creature could live in this heat?
dude, we all know for a fact there's aliens in there, man.
Listen, you realize that the hollow earth theory was disproved decades ago. There's nothing down there.
I'm a geologist. I know for a fact that there might be a bear in there. I've been in the mountains before. I don't know. Something, a bear, a tiger. I don't know, man.
Bears usually don't occupy volcanoes.
Hey,
Well, there are no bears or tigers. There could be a parakeet in there.
there could be a water bear in there.
One really big parakeet.
A barricade.
A paracoraptor.
Goodness.
Kaiju keet.
Well, you definitely get the feeling that there could be something bizarre in there because the more you look at it, geologist and volcanologist, you're torn between built structure and just a bizarre natural formation that just looks like a house.
I'm really racking my brain here. It's
Yeah, this isn't natural. Like,
But is it?
No, I have not. I have been inside volcanoes before in Yellowstone. This is not natural at all, to the point where I don't even think this would be man-made, to be honest. Like,
I have
Unless-
seen.
Wait. If it's not natural and it's not man-made, then what is it, Mr. Grove?
I don't know.
It's the parakeets.
Yeah, we're all men of the sciences here, in a way, and well, we're all men of the sciences or men of a craft, and I sort of, acknowledge shift. I think we can all agree that it either nature had to do it or man had to do it. Maybe there was some weirdness involved there, but one of these two things was involved.
I might not be the best historian, but I know for a fact men can't do this. They built the pyramids, but they can't build this.
I chime
beyond
in and
Egyptian
agree with
technology.
him. I've been to civilizations on every continent throughout the globe, and I've never seen anything resembling this.
I've been to some of the otter pyramids in the Yucatan, and this does not resemble any of those.
Aztec pyramids, not even.
No, nothing.
Archaeologist, anthropologist,
yeah.
Roll your respective.
Okay.
We're
Our-
on to
our-
something here. Let's not lose our heads.
Our
That would
fields
be-
overlap a little bit.
What
Hard
am I-
success.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, I'm sorry, Dylan. Did you pass?
Hard success.
Okay,
I am rolling terribly. I failed.
okay.
Standard.
Well, I should make sense for the archaeologist. You're thinking of places like in Peru at Machu Picchu, where the stones are so perfectly cut that you can't fit a razor blade in between the blocks. But the more you examine the walls, you just can't find any seams. If
There
this
are
thing
no
is made
seams?
with blocks.
This rivals. This construction is even more precise than Machu Picchu, the Machu Picchu civilization. I cannot find a seam anywhere.
All right. So you guys are standing there outside. What would you like to do?
It's the closest entry is about 15 foot up. Is that right, Tom?
It's 15 feet high. It's only about a foot off the ground.
Okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
you said it's dark inside.
Yes.
All right. I'll turn on my flashlight and I'll go inside. It's something else.
You can see right inside. There are a few rocks and debris that probably. I should have mentioned this earlier, but you can see that in addition to lava flow, there was a landslide, and that's why this is exposed.
Mhm.
So there is definitely some bits of plant and bits of rock and dirt that have fallen in through this entrance. But for the most part, the floor is smooth, the walls are smooth, the ceiling is smooth, and slanting downward from where you are. And once again, they're not really parallel, nor do they stay the same. It's almost like each one of them is independently moving downwards and twisting as it's going down into the mountain. And it's cleaner the farther away from the window that you get.
All right, Rocky, lead the way.
So you've all climbed through the door, and
Yes.
you've lit up your flashlights.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I got my torch out, as I would call it from Canada.
There is a slight breeze that you can feel inside the passageway. Dan, roll your geology. Mr. Grove.
Yeah, I just looked it down. I'm like, wait, there's a breeze in here?
That is a normal success.
Okay. What that would tell you is that this structure inside must be enormous, like a cave system. That there would actually be the thing would literally be breathing. As the temperature changes outside, the air moves out. As the night comes on, the air moves back in. It's what caves actually do. So it's a little disconcerting, but whatever this is must connect to a much larger system inside this volcano.
All right, I have two theories. One, everything you just suggested, or two, there's another entrance, which I'm not going to
That's
lie
also
to you.
possible.
I don't think that's the thing. I think it might be the first one. And that's me going off of everything. I don't know, guys.
Everyone here has got watches, right?
Sure.
I assume
Sure.
everyone's got a watch. We can all tell
Yeah.
what time it is. There's light coming in from the entrance when we look behind us?
Correct. Yes.
So when it becomes nighttime, if we're still in here, which seems unlikely, should we leave anything at the entrance? Like a light or something that could help us tell, where it is in case we get lost?
Of course you can, but it's probably only 10 o'clock by now in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's unlikely we'd be in here for.
You've got 11 hours.
Yeah.
It's dark outside.
I'm a paranoid individual. I think about these things.
My character wouldn't expect a cave diving, so he wouldn't have brought anything shiny or light.
I mean, I probably have a couple of spare cheap lenses, but they're tiny, like they're not going to be. And the sun's going to change position over time, so it's not going to be the same reflection.
You guys talked about an old man with seashells. Can we borrow some seashells from a beach or something? Shiny little seashells.
I think that would take like a while to go and get.
2 hours to get back.
Oh, sorry, guys. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Well, it doesn't look like you can get lost. There's only the one passage.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right.
All
So
right,
we'll assume
Mark's-
as you guys are discussing this, you're slowly moving down the passage.
Yeah.
Are there any decorations or inscriptions or anything?
Nothing.
Every few meters or so, I'm gonna take another rock just to see if it changes.
Okay. It doesn't. So it's the same. It seems to be the same sort of stuff. And you're guessing only that the outside of it is oxidized, which has made it turn dull. But when you cut, you're talking about cutting into the rock a little. It's multicolored on the inside.
It's not-
kind of pretty.
Is it changing at all? Or is it completely throughout the whole thing just straight the same thing?
It's the same thing, everything. However, as you move forward, who's up in the front? Okay.
I'd be near the front as well, I think.
You've got flashlights.
Yeah.
So you're flashing your light. You start to get little twinkles of light on the floor as you're moving forward. At first, you just think it's probably, crystal in the rock. It just happens to be facing you, and so it's twinkling. But all of a sudden, as you turn a corner, this brilliant light is shining back at you, and you realize that you're looking into a fairly large room. I'll say the room is maybe 100 feet across, maybe 100 feet wide, maybe hexagon shaped, and the floor is completely covered in what look like mounds of blue crystals, and your flashlights are hitting those, and the light's bouncing right back into your eyes. It's like you're shining it in a million little mirrors. They're not all little. Some of them are fairly large crystals, but all of the crystals, when you first look at them, they're cubes. They're like perfect little cubes. They're not always complete cubes. It's like they're all fused together and growing that way on the ground. They're not growing on the walls or the ceiling, but they're growing all over the ground. And they're a vivid blue. Daniel, you can do your geology roll. It's like you're looking into a geo. You guys have seen a geo, right?
That would be a standard success.
Okay. The first thing that pops into your head is sapphires.
All right, everybody, flashlights off, sapphires. Ugh.
Well, if at this point, if you turn your flashlights off, everything goes pitch black. But if you direct your flashlights like at the ceiling, then it's not that. You can just see the sea of sapphires. And it's not even. There's, like I say, there's mounds of them here and there. And some of them look, fairly large, like the size of basketballs. But it's this beautiful blue color, crystal, clear, dark to light blue color. If any of you know anything about, well, I guess the geologist would know, sapphire is one of the most valuable stones on the planet. It's right up there with diamonds and emeralds and rubies.
Just taking a few pictures of everything.
And I think the largest sapphires that have ever been found are about like that.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what to say. Okay, let me put this in perspective. This is the largest sapphire ever found. That is the next largest sapphire we've ever found. This is impossible. Unless you dig straight to the core of the earth, you're not going to find anything like this.
You're sure this is all sapphire?
Best guess.
What you could do is a Mohs test, and that would tell you how hard it is. And it's a very simple, quick test. You have probably Mohs bit.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, it's at least as hard as sapphire, whatever it is. So, you also notice now that you're looking around that on the far end of the room, there are some gigantic crystals that are also probably sapphire that are going almost floor to ceiling, forming kind of like three large flat surfaces sort of in your direction. Now, I would like you're all probably dazzled by this. So I would like Samuel, Caldwell, and Dylan to do spot hidden rolls. You're probably partly walking into this because it sort of gradually developed as you came around the corner. But you're standing on the edge of this sea of blue sapphires.
Right. And that would be a normal success.
I'm going to spend 2 luck and make that also a normal success.
Okay. Dylan and Samuel, you're standing in amongst this, something that's probably on the open market would be worth more fortune than you could possibly imagine, if this would ever be. Or it might ruin the whole economy of the sapphire, and it's like, yeah, sapphire's a big deal.
Yeah.
You're looking at this and you notice something else on the ground as you're sort of looking at these Rubik's Cube sized sapphires. It takes you a little bit to sort of snap these things off because most of them are very delicately attached. So they break off and they fall down when you touch them or you step on them. But you reach down and pick something up and realize it's a bone. And Dylan, you have a small chunk of what looks like maybe a finger bone. But Samuel, you come up with something that looks like maybe an arm bone of some sort.
I'm just like completely astounded looking at this.
You can tell that they're very, very old.
I'm probably not holding it with my hands. I probably have gloves on or something like that if I were to touch it. Can I take out
Using my brushes.
Yeah, I'm going to
Also-
take out one of my tools. Yeah, I'm going to take out my toolkit and roll anthropology to see if I can figure out anything from this.
All right. Go ahead and do that.
Can I do the same with archaeology?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
So that would just be a regular success.
Okay.
Regular success. Yes.
Dylan, it's more difficult for you to tell what it is, but it's probably definitely a digit of some sort. Could be from an animal, could be from something else. But Samuel, this bone, you're pretty sure that it's human. Maybe from a young adolescent. You can't tell male or female. It's probably an arm bone, like the axe, or I can't remember what they are, radial and ulnar
Right.
bone. But you don't have enough to go on with just the one bone. But you start to notice that there might be other bones here and there on the floor. Dan and Brock, what are you guys doing?
I'm just bewildered. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm looking at each one of these, kind of measuring them with measuring tape, just finding a new record after a new record after record. Just
Yeah, I'm trying to stay close to the others. We're kind of examining what's going on. You're taking a survey of what's in this place.
Dan, well, you would probably guess that based on your knowledge of rocks and specimens, that these are probably some pretty high quality sapphires.
If anything, all right, another perspective. If we brought all of these out in the limelight, sapphires no longer are worth anything. Unless we do what the Diamond Corporations did. It's amazing.
It's also an amazing geological point. I mean, you're in a gigantic geo.
Yeah, this whole place is amazing. It's impossible. It's almost like he kind of just loses train of thought and just goes back to measuring and just pinpointing.
So you're kind of wandering around looking at the crystals and
just like muttering to yourself, like, this isn't, I can't believe it.
Yeah, I'm sort of similar. I'm doing something similar, but a little more confidently. I'm like, this is remarkable, and I'm taking notes. I'm like, we've got to tell everybody about this.
Can I take a sanity roll?
Sure. And Sam, you're having a difficult time taking any decent photographs because if you have a flash and the flash goes off, all you get is just a million little reflections coming right back in your camera.
Yeah, I was going to say that my flash is probably going off intermittently.
Ideally, what you'd want to do is set up artificial lights here and there on the sides, get to an angle where you're getting dramatic. That would take you a bit of time to set up. So are you standing there? Are you looking around? Are you somebody's in your pocket?
Ooh, that's a bit.
I guess I'm just trying to find good angles to take pictures from. If I'm able to. I don't know how cameras worked back in the day. If I could remove the flash and get one of the fellas to maybe focus the beam of one of their flashlights.
You could do that,
areas.
but it's not a digital photograph, so
it has to have a flash.
This is 85. Well, no, you could do it with lighting, but you'd have to get your light meter out. You'd have to make sure you're getting a large enough exposure and have the right film
Okay.
and all of that. I mean, you know all of that stuff. It's just you weren't prepared for this.
Mhm.
I have an idea for that. I turn as you go. I grab one of the crystals, the ones I can break off,
Mhm.
kind of just do that. Kind of like
Yeah.
shine the light into it, allowing it to reflect on the roof.
So he's not taking a picture down at the crystals. He's just taking a picture of you holding the crystal.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that would work. That would definitely work.
Yeah,
I want to be on the
sounds
main
good.
papers.
Dr. Caldwell, you're looking around for more bones. Do a luck roll.
Okay. That is I believe that's a fail.
Dr. Dillon, Dr. Roberts, you're also doing looking around. Do a luck roll.
Luck. That'll be a normal success.
Okay. As you're looking around, you see a sort of a bit of crystal on bone, and you snap it off, and you reach down, and what you pick up is a skull.
I think we've got something here, folks. I'm going to start brushing it off.
But it doesn't look like a modern human skull. It looks off. Probably something more the anthropologist would be able to.
Dr. Caldwell, I think this is more your wheelhouse than mine.
I perk up at the sound of my name and carefully walk over to him so I don't trip on any of these sapphires.
So, Dr. Caldwell, he hands you the skull, and what goes through your mind is this. It's a human skull, probably an adolescent, probably, and as you're looking at it, you suddenly get the shakes all over because you realize that you aren't looking at Homo sapien. You're not looking at Cro-Magnon. You're not even looking at like Homo erectus. This is probably something closer to Homo habilis or Australopithecus. This is at least 1.5 million to 2 million years old. And by far, it's the most complete and perfect skull ever to be found. And the only other one that's ever been found was in Odelby Gorge in the middle of Africa. This is mind-blowing. You can do a sanity roll for that.
And this island is what, off the coast of Australia?
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to make a sanity roll for that. I got a 15.
So the rest of you suddenly notice him holding the skull like Shakespeare's Hamlet in his hand, but
and my mouth is just like
shaking all over, like he's like the sapphires are crap compared to what he's got.
To be or not to be, Caldwell?
That is the question.
What's wrong? You never seen a skull before?
Only like 30 people have ever seen this kind of skull before. This
Good to find.
is millions of years old. And it's more put together than the only other skull of its type that's been found. And not only that, but...
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you can go. It's fine.
I was going to say, over the course of the next 20 minutes or so, you find more bones. More than that, you find a few primitive stone tools, which would be right in there with Homo habilis. But nothing like, there's no stone with a stick. They hadn't invented that yet.
It's like a sharp stone and a blunt.
Just sharp stone for chopping meat.
Hard stone for smashing.
Okay, now correct me if I'm wrong, though, Brock, but you said this island is only a few 100,000 years old geologically.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mr. Grove and Mr. Stone, you guys are wandering around the room looking at things. You've worked your way over to where there's these 3 gigantic sapphires that are each of them at least 15 feet high and maybe 10 feet wide.
Holy shit.
They form kind of a, well, the way when you're looking at them, it's almost like there's 3 large mirrors on this one wall. They actually are embedded in the rock. And it's interesting because you can see the basalt, what you guess is the basalt of the volcanic island, passing into the crystal and across. It's almost as if the crystal and the wall were fused together, and they've created these big, odd-shaped, rectangular, semi-rectangular mirrors that are all about 3 or 4 inches thick, sticking out of the wall. I'd like you to do a spot hidden, and they're reflective enough that you can clearly see yourself, and you can see the light from the other people's flashlight behind you.
That is a hard.
Okay. Brock? John?
Brock is just so stunned by the crystals.
What was that, sorry?
Do a spot hidden.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking into these big crystals.
Sorry, I misheard you there. Yeah, I got a 45.
Okay. So the 2 of you are looking there, and you're probably just astonished. You're looking into your reflection, and it suddenly dawns on you that you can see yourselves, and you can see, remember the room is dark except for your flashlights.
Right.
You can see the light from your friend's flashlights shining up on the ceiling, and you can see them over there on the other end of the room in the dark. But in the reflection, there are no crystals. The floor in the reflection doesn't have anything on it. It's bare. Although it looks like that there are colorations in the floor. But the crystals in here are not in there, are not in the reflection. You can do sanity rolls for that.
Yeah, I say I think that's fitting.
I'll
I
take
don't
it.
really know how to
I failed.
28. I succeeded, but I'm just like I'm still dumbfounded.
Say if you succeed,
1?
take 1. If you fail, 2.
Yeah, gotcha.
Where's my pencil?
She's like, look at the reflection.
What do I roll again for sanity?
You just take 2 points if you failed.
2. Okay.
Two points
What?
of sanity.
I don't.
The
What he
crystals
said.
aren't there in the reflection.
What he said.
You find yourself looking back and forth, and there's nothing.
I'll go over and hold up a crystal and see what they mean.
You can see
think
the
it
crystal in your hand, but there's no crystal in the reflection.
Well, ain't that something? We can name them vampire crystals.
Yeah, what are these?
Copyright.
Fool's crystals? Are they fool's crystals like fool's gold?
This
Certainly
doesn't
is something.
This isn't how crystals are supposed to. You can't just do that. And he just throws one down. Sits down.
Do an intelligence roll, the 3 of you who are looking at this. So Dr.
42?
Caldwell's still over there holding the skull going.
Yeah, I'm just amazed.
No, I fail.
Got a
I just think
42,
it's a pretty rock.
Just yes.
Normal.
Okay.
extreme success. I'm sorry.
The only thing that just sort of crosses your mind, this is a wild, crazy theory, but maybe it's because the mirrors are made of the same material as the stone that the light frequency doesn't register. But you've never heard of anything like that before. That's
like say
insane.
Something silver against something silver, and so that's why I'm going to basically take the handle of one of my brushes and tap the surface of the crystal. Does it seem solid?
Of the crystal in your hand?
No, the one that is not the one with the wall on. I don't see my reflection or the crystal reflection. Excuse me.
Okay. How hard do you hit it?
Just a gentle tap.
Okay. When you do that, it almost rings like a bell. It's like hitting a crystal glass. Ding. And the sound sort of lingers for a few moments. But yeah, the crystal's there. The crystal in your hand is there, but it's not in the reflection. And you also notice that when you're looking down at the ground, you don't see any bones either in the reflection. So if the crystals are invisible, why are the bones invisible?
I was about to suggest I hold up the skull to the crystal, just on random thought.
Sure, there is no reflection of the skull in your hand. All of your gear reflects.
Interesting.
But the skull does not reflect.
Okay, I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to lick the skull.
Okay.
I do that.
It has a calcium sort of, kind of like baking soda sort of taste. There's not much to it. It's like licking a seashell.
All right.
It's definitely real. I mean, it's real. You can feel
it's the last sense that a scientist can rely on.
So as you guys are freaked out and staring into this, I'd like you all to do spot hiddens.
Ooh, that I got a 2 on.
Nice. I got a regular success.
So
Regular success.
Regular success.
Nope, too busy.
All right. Those of you who got regular successes, you start to notice something in the other room on the floor that you do notice a bit of blue, but it's almost as if there were lines drawn in the floor, in the reflection, that are made of that blue sapphire, but they make angles and curves and twists, and it almost reminds you of stuff that a physicist would write on his board. It's not letters or anything like that. It's just large arcs and angles, something that could be natural, but you wonder too if maybe the mounds and the bunches of crystals correspond at least to that in some way.
All right, I will pull out my sketchbook and draw the lines. It's like something like a Nazca line, but like a circuit board or something.
Kinda, yeah. Not really circuit board, more just like large curves and like some sort of a design. And Brock, you got the extreme?
That's correct. I got a 2.
Okay. All right, Brock, you're standing there, and you sort of have noticed these lines too.
Yeah.
And remember, you're all looking this direction. So behind you, it's dark.
Right.
Brock, you think that you see something over behind Dylan that's moved like a shadow in the darkness behind him.
Dr. Roberts, so look out behind you.
What? Who? What? Where?
Something moved behind you.
He looks back. You look over there as well. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
No, I could have sworn I saw something moving in the shadows. So something's around here. Something's afoot.
I'll stop. I'll listen. I don't hear anything besides us.
Nothing. No sound at all.
What? What was it? Yeah.
I don't know. I just saw something moving in the shadows behind you.
Maybe it went into that other room.
But what could it have been?
Hold on. Don't, freak out or anything. There's an open entrance behind us. It could have been an animal. Maybe a bird flew in.
Well, it could have also just been a play of the light. All of your flashlights are kind of directed forward. And it's all shadows behind you.
Mm-hmm.
But you distinctly thought you saw something moving around behind him. It was just a second, almost out of the corner of your eye. And however you move with your flashlight, you can't get it to happen again.
So now you're saying the designs that the curves will correspond to the mounds in the other room?
You think maybe. It's hard to tell because the crystals are all grown up all over. Do an idea roll for me.
Idea? All right. That would be a normal success.
This crazy sort of ridiculous idea starts to play around in your mind, as if the room in the reflection is not as old as the room that you're standing in, that you're looking into another time in the reflection when the crystals hadn't had millions of years to grow.
Here's an interesting theory. It says perhaps what we're looking at in the mirror is a reflection of another time before all the growth in the other room. Because if you look at this and then pull up a sketch, it says they do roughly correspond to the position of the mounds in the other room. That might explain why we're not seeing the crystals in that reflection.
At the moment, who's looking into the reflection?
I definitely am.
Do a spot hidden.
A 6?
Fail.
That's a hard success.
Okay. And you got a 6? That's
Yeah, I got a
good.
6, yeah.
Okay. We'll do Sam. Sam, as you are rather nervously now looking into the reflection, you're almost definitely sure that the shadows back behind the group, that something moved, almost as if the shadows itself sort of got denser. But when you look out behind you, there's nothing there. Brock.
Yes.
You are really focusing in on the area behind Dylan where you saw it before. And you definitely see something in the shadows move. And it gives you the impression of something that maybe happened to you years ago when you were out camping and you were all sitting around the campfire.
Yeah.
And there were coyotes out in the woods and they wouldn't come close to the light, but you could see them right on the edge of the light. It's as if something is moving back and forth behind Dylan. It's about 3 feet high and kind of longish, and you can't really get a good look at it, but you keep thinking that there's something behind him. So
I'm like, no, look there, just there at the edge of the light.
it's like it's getting closer to Dylan.
It's coming closer. Look, Dylan, look out.
All right.
Oh. It's stolen your sound, Dylan.
Over where he's
You look right behind yourself into this. You shine your flashlight over there. You get light reflected back from the crystals and stuff, but there's nothing there.
Still
However,
seeing nothing.
when you turn around and shine your flashlight in that direction, Brock, something in the reflection comes a bit into the light. And any of you who are still looking into the mirrors, you see it at this point too. It's hard to describe. It's about 3 feet high. It's long, like maybe 6 or 7 feet long. Reminds you of, doesn't remind you of anything. You'd almost say that it was an animal, because you think it has 4, 5, 6 or more legs. Its features are all bizarrely angular, and it seems to be, you don't know if it's actually walking or floating, and what you would call, I guess, the front part of it, the part that's moving, the head. There doesn't seem to be any features to it other than odd, strange angles. You don't see any kind of eyes, but maybe sort of a muzzle. And the thing is moving almost like a dog or a wolf. And as it moves towards where you can see Dylan's reflection, its head sort of lifts up like this, as if it's sniffing the air. But it's passing through Dylan's reflection. You can all do sanity rolls.
Yeah. Ooh, that I failed with a
And
66.
if you point it out to
59.
Dylan, then Dylan.
Yeah, that's a fail.
That would be a success.
It rolled on
failed
the
as
crease, but I'll take the fail.
Okay. If you failed on that, I would like you to do a D4.
Okay.
If you fail, I'm sorry, did I say fail?
Yeah.
If you failed on it, do a 1d6. If you pass, do a 1d4.
That is
I could
5.
Take 3.
Okay, 4 for me.
Oh no, I can have
That's
about
a big old 6 for me.
2. Okay, that's a 2.
Anybody get a 5 or larger?
Me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 5.
5 or larger. Do an intelligence roll.
That's a 90, so I
No,
failed.
that's a pass.
That's good. You want to fail.
Yeah, which means I'm dumbfounded. I'm just like,
If you fail, it scares the shit out of you, but you don't. But
I don't understand it. Yeah.
looks like the photographer passed.
Yeah,
Do a 1d. Do a 1d8.
Ooh.
my favorite part. 1d8, where are you? That's an 8.
Oh, that's an 8.
Let's get dangerous.
That's red mist.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
So
No.
do a 1d4.
we're all gonna die.
No.
Oh, I've been carrying this revolver.
1 second, I just dropped it down the back of my desk.
No. The dramatic moment.
He's gonna use the machete and chop us all up and feed us to it.
He does have a machete. It's true.
Yeah, we all have machetes.
How to become a cultist in 5 easy steps.
Okay, I rolled a 1.
Where is it again? I didn't see it. Okay, it says you're going to attack your surroundings. So I'm going to say that you start, maybe you have the machete or you have your tripod or whatever. You're going to start swinging it and
Whoa.
and hitting the crystals on the ground, maybe even hitting the big crystal. Okay.
I'll take like the pommel of the machete.
Did
and try
anybody
to,
else? Nobody
Right.
else passed their. Okay, you didn't pass your intelligence, so you're cool. Okay, when he hits the big crystal with it, and I'm sorry, this is going to last 1d10 rounds. So, see how long it lasts.
Rolled a 6.
Okay, so it's going to last 6 rounds. He's freaked out, you know.
Yeah.
So that's like a full minute.
Right. He starts hitting things. When he hits the big crystal, you immediately notice the creature turns its head towards him. Also, 2 more of these things come in out of the shadows and start sniffing around for whatever is making the noise. They don't ever approach the mirror. They only approach your reflections in the mirror as if they're trying to orient themselves to your positions. What do y'all do?
Stop it.
I'm gonna try to grab a shift and start getting out of here. I'm like, shift, it's time to go. We gotta go. What are you doing? The crystals aren't even there. Come on.
I'll just be smacking on it, being like, I can't look at the reflection anymore.
You'll have to do a maneuver, a brawl, to
Okay,
see if you
sure.
can restrain him.
Is that an opposed roll for me?
Wait, that's a 3,
No, because you don't really have any choice in it.
34. So I passed.
Well, he
Nice.
manages to get his arms wrapped around you, but you're fighting him every step of the way.
Okay. Can I try and calm him down? Could I
Do you
use
have-
like
You'd
I
need
have psychology.
you'd need psychoanalysis,
Okay.
and it would take talking to him for.
Yeah, I don't know if we can
Right.
talk time.
Dan, what do you do?
At first I'm just like, what is? Okay, this thing's a trick of. And then I see him bashing his camera, and I'm like, well, he knows how to box. He's gonna beat the shit out of that guy. I'm gonna grab him. I'm gonna basically arm lock him.
All
Help
right, so you're helping.
Yeah.
Do a grapple with. I'd say you get a bonus roll because he's already grappled partly. Who is still looking into the mirror?
Definitely me. I'm sort of transfixed by these wolf creatures.
Extreme.
All right, so you're keeping Sam from getting away, and what are you trying to do? Drag him back to the way out.
Towards the way out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam, as you're looking
Go!
into the mirror and you're seeing these things, the first one that's near Dylan's reflection, it does something very odd. It almost moves like a cat, sort of twisting around itself, and you see this light appear, and it seems to be marking the air. There's a slash, and then a curve, and then another curve. And then suddenly you see the creature sort of fold into the curve and vanish. And then the other ones start to do the same thing.
What's going on?
I think his screams are unintelligible to be able to tell anyone what's going on.
So Dylan and Sam, what are you both doing when you see this?
Perhaps this is not a good time to be here. Those things just vanished. Violently looking around. I don't see them anywhere, do I?
Do you guys know anything about occult?
I have occult, and I have 5 points.
I know, but I think we're already trying to get shift out the door.
I think the three of you are, definitely
yeah.
trying to get out the door.
If I can find a cult on this page.
It's alphabetical.
Occult or mythos? Because I have both.
Well, you could do mythos if you want. You probably only have a couple of points.
Yeah, it's because I rolled a 4. I have a 5 mythos.
I have a 45 occult, so I will roll that.
I have a 1 on mythos. I don't know why.
You rolled a 4. What did you have on occult?
My occult that would be an extreme on my occult and a regular success on mythos.
Okay.
I also got an extreme, I got a hard success on occult.
Okay. both of you are convinced that whatever those things did in the other place, they opened up some sort of gate, and they've stepped through the gate.
We need to go.
We need to leave right now.
All right.
I would go over to them and grab one of Sam's legs and like hoist him off the ground.
They're already farther out than you guys.
Oh, okay.
are.
We're out of it. It's just like,
Then
All right.
just follow after them.
I'm going to, before you guys start running after us, grab one.
Grab one of what?
Crystal.
Crystal? Oh, I look for like, one that's relatively.
Screw that! Just
big.
go.
You may have already stuffed some in your pockets.
I take the skull with me. I take the skull. Absolutely.
All right. You're running up the ramp to the door. Sam, I'm going to say based on stuff you just said, you're the last one. I mean, you're still running, but you're the last one.
I'm probably, the last person. Yeah.
And because you've grabbed the skull, and you've grabbed
I'm holding the
rocks.
skull under my arm.
As you look back into the room, and you're turning the corner, somewhere in the room you see a light go and make a straight line in the air, and you don't stop to see what happens after that. You guys run. You leap through the door. Which way are you going to go? You're going to go up the mountain where you came, or are you going to go down the mountain? There is another lava flow going down the mountain.
I would say we should probably go the way we can. It's probably the path of least resistance.
Yeah, exactly. The way we came.
Yeah, hold him. Make sure he's fine. Follow me. I think I remember where we came from.
All right. So you start running. You get outside. You start heading back the way you came. Everyone do spot hiddens.
Including me?
Yeah, all of you.
No.
Well,
it's
yeah, by
55.
now, Sam, you're starting to come out of it.
Regular success.
I failed.
My character's too busy looking at the path.
All right.
That's a
I
regular pass.
failed as well. Yeah.
Those of you who succeeded, you look back, and on the roof of that structure, you suddenly see a bright line sort of slash across, and then a curve, and then another line like this, and one of these things folds out of space and appears on the top of the building. And when it does, the ground starts to rumble, and you suddenly see a minor blast of smoke and ash shoot out the top of the volcano, and the volcanic eruption is getting stronger.
My God!
I'd like you also to do dex rolls to see if you lose your footing as you're now scrambling.
I got a 44.
I got a 58 of 70.
I'm going to spend 2 points to make that a hard.
I
I
thankfully
roll-
succeeded regularly.
Okay, unless you failed, you're fine. If you failed, then you trip and fall.
I rolled a crit fail.
Oh no!
Oh.
All right.
Right on it too, 96.
Oh.
I can't spend luck, I don't believe.
Not on a fumble.
Dan, you trip as you're running. You feel yourself go down. You feel yourself slide on the volcanic lava, so it scrapes you up. Do any of you look back at this point, other than Dan?
Uh,
I don't think I
No.
can stop looking back.
Okay. What you see is this thing on the top of the building suddenly comes leaping off of it. For a moment, it disappears into the jungle, but then you see it come leaping out from behind the jungle along the path that you guys are running down. And you see it just almost gracefully leap through the air, and it comes down right on top of Dan. You hear Dan scream, and there suddenly is a fountain of blood going everywhere as it just literally tears him to shreds. And you see another of those things appearing up on the structure. So
Not
you are
bad for
running.
the first game.
When the second one appears on the mountainside, the volcano lets loose. There is a huge boom. Everybody do Constitution rolls. If you fail, you are deaf. It blows your eardrums out.
That's a
pass.
hard success.
I
just
also
barely
got a hard
passed.
success.
62 out of 70. I barely.
Okay. Maybe just luckily you see it and you put your hands on
Yeah.
your ears just in time to keep it from. But it almost knocks you off your feet. You see lava shoot out of the top of it, and it's going down all the sides of the volcano at this point.
Run!
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 All right. You find that you are flying down the mountainside like mountain goats.
Like a
managing to jump from rock to rock and run over this lava flow until you get down to the path. And then are you going to run over the top of the island or down towards the bottom?
I think the quickest way is on the bottom, isn't it?
Yes, so was the whichever way we came. I think we came
Yeah,
on
it's
the
the
You
bottom.
came from the bottom. Okay.
So let's go the same way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I would like you to do a group luck roll, which means
Okay.
whoever has the worst
Oh,
luck
right.
does the roll.
Uh,
What are all of your lucks?
I've got 46.
I have 50.
50.
48.
So 46 it is.
Sounds like 46.
Okay.
All right, let's go, fellas.
Oh no.
Oh
No. Fail.
Fail as well.
Ay.
Okay. As you are running, a flow of lava is heading down this side of the mountain, and it partly cuts you off. Your choice your choice is to try to leap over it.
Oh, geez.
Leap over it.
Yeah, you might be able to make it. I'll have you roll your jump rolls.
Jump.
I step forward and I say, my life, was always leading to this point. It had to culminate in this. Whatever it is, I'll die in my field of study. And
This is a volcanologist's dream, right?
Yes, right.
You'll become one with my work.
Yes, I'm gonna be the first one to either conquer or succumb to my work, and I'll be the first one to jump. I have a 20, so here we go. 1 out of 5, baby.
You can spend luck. You can.
I cannot, or I can.
You can spend luck.
Okay,
of
cool.
course.
So okay, let's see. 1 out of 5. I got a lot of luck ready to go. Oh shit. No. That's an 85.
Oh.
And it's 20, and I have 50 luck. So that means I just barely failed.
All right. Now, aside from what you've seen in movies, lava is liquid rock.
Mm-hmm.
So it's much denser than like water. There's actually websites that'll tell you that if Gollum fell off the thing and fell into the lava, he wouldn't sink into the lava. He would skitter across the top of it because he's much less dense than the rock. So in this case, you land on the lava flow, and aside from the fact that it's moving, it probably just burns one of your feet. Probably easily lights your shoes on fire.
Yeah.
And burns your legs. So do a 1d6 hit points of damage. We'll see.
Okay.
So you don't instantly sink into
6.
the lava.
Right.
That seems fitting. 6.
All right. So
I go to 5.
Your pant leg bursts into flames,
Ah!
and your leg your leg gets badly burned, but you can still run, and you can put your pant leg out. How about the rest of you? Going to try to jump over?
All right, I'll give it a shot.
I mean, there's no other option, right?
Correct. Otherwise, you're going to get
1 point of luck. You get a 6. Wait. That's
Yeah. I imagine I skid through the last of it. I'm just like
21.
hobbling to the other side.
Gonna spend 1 to bring it to a 20.
You gotta go for it! And I'm still on fire.
All right, rolled a 21. I'm gonna spend 1 luck to bring it to a 20.
Okay.
So I got a 26. So I'm gonna spend 20. Or I'm gonna spend 6 luck to bring it down to a 20 to succeed.
Okay. And Sam?
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to spend another 2 points of luck to make it an extreme success.
Just in case.
It won't be any different if it's.
By the way, I did
just for flavor purposes, I guess.
That did bring me. So that 6 took me to 5, but luckily I am a constituble man, so I passed my con save to not get instantly stunned or knocked out.
Okay. And your adrenaline is like through the roof at this point. Okay, so now you guys are running along the path. Brock, you are hobbling, but you're still managing to just suck up the pain and do it. But as you look back, you suddenly notice one of these things bound out of the forest, and it literally jumps and lands right on the lava where you landed. And you can see it stand there for a moment and lower its head and sniff at the place where you landed, and then it starts bounding again towards you guys.
Oh no!
What do you want to do?
Faster! They're coming!
All right.
Extreme prejudice.
Shift! You've got to get out of here! Get those photos to the presses! God damn it!
Brock, do a luck roll.
All right, here we go. I didn't spend any. Nope, but I got another 85.
Okay. Before you can make a maneuver, the thing once again leaps through the air and hits you right between the shoulder blades. You fall to the ground screaming, and it tears you limb from limb. The rest of you have cleared a corner, and you're heading up towards Smith's Landing. The jungle behind you is on fire. You can see it going, and you can see that the people of the village are all rushing to the port. A few of them have managed to get into, what do I want to say, water airplanes. There's a few of those there. There's rich people. Some of them getting onto their boats, their yachts. They're trying to evacuate because you can see the lava is heading towards the village as well. All right, so you are running. You clear the edge of the village, and you haven't seen any more of the creatures, except that you think maybe you've seen some blinks of light here and there in the jungle behind you. But with the fire now, it's too bright. You're sure that thing is still chasing after you, or those things are. You run into the village, and just as you're one of the last people, there's some boats that are still managing to leave. Some rich guy's yacht, and he's like, "Oh, come on," like this.
Yeah.
Both of you do a spot hidden, or there's 3 of you do spot hidden.
Ooh.
That is a hard success. Hard success.
I got a hard success.
Okay. As you're running and glancing back, one of you notices, well, you all notice, far down, there's a wall somewhere in the village. You suddenly see a bright speck of light make a line and then a curve.
Oh.
And at this point, you're leaping onto the boat, and the guy is pulling away as this wall of lava is going into the town. Buildings are going up in flames. And they want to get away from the island. And as they pull away from the island and they get out maybe, half a mile, the island just goes ba-boom like this. You see it explode. It throws rocks and shrapnel into the air, and it manages to avoid the huge ripple wave that passes under your ship. You know that now there's probably going to be a tidal wave in Australia when that happens, and your ship, the water comes to a still. There's blackness behind you from all the smoke of the destroyed mountain, and your boat sails on towards Australia or New Zealand. And as you're standing on the deck, on the back of the wheelhouse, a spot of light appears. It slashes down and it curves like this. And then another one appears. And that thing unfolds itself from the angles and slaughters everybody on the boat, including you. There are no survivors. And that's the end of our story. We went a little
excellent.
over. Sorry.
It's so good.
That was wonderful.
So any guesses?
Cool.
Hound of Tyndalus?
Hound of Tyndalus, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty
Wonderful
sure it's
stuff.
because we hit the big giant stone, which I was planning to do anyways.
You
So
just
hold
served
on.
time.
Hold on. What were those things? I don't have much knowledge about them.
In Lovecraft, the Hound of Tyndalus is this. It's not really a hound, but they call it a Hound of Tyndalus. It's this alien crystalline sort of thing that hunts people. And once it has your scent, it will hunt you through time and space. So the fact is, you were actually looking millions and millions of years into the past, looking through the crystal, but it still could sense that you were in that spot. And once it did, it simply folded space and moved forward in time until it could find you.
That is
There was, once that happens, there's no escape. That will. Theoretically, if you can get to a room that's a perfect sphere and there's no angles,
There's no flat
it
surface.
can't get in. Right.
Mhm.
I had no idea. I love the Hound of Tyndalus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're
I thought
my
plenty of them in
favorite.
Pathfinder.
Yeah, because the thing is, I thought for a second that when you said basalt and Australia and large predating human, we were going to deal with serpent people, but it's like, yeah.
I was expecting Nazis, serpent people.
Nazis.
Yeah, because as you could see from the chat, we were just joking about Nazis at first.
Right. All right. Well, let me go ahead and finish up, and then we can chit chat some more.
That was amazing.
That was awesome.
Our players included John Dos Passos, Eddie Deathlefts. Sorry, I asked you beforehand. Eddie Deathlefts, Theodore Martinez, Mark Anthony, and Daniel Balfour, with myself as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up a private game, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. There's a link below. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. We do have a new patron tonight who lists himself as Wolf, probably German because it's got an E on the end, so Wolf. He's pledged $3 a month. Thank you so much, Wolf.
Thank you, Wolf.
Thank you, Wolf.
If you'd also like to support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.